had to like really work so I could get a copyright free version of that song. And I wanted that song to play.
What is
Another
that
Day
song?
in Paradise. Another Day in Paradise. Phil Collins.
Wow. All right.
It kept trying to make me play Coldplay Paradise. I was like, that's not the song. That's not what I
Mm,
want. But that was the one that kept coming up. And I was like, no, not
okay.
right. Let's do right. So I found, took a little work, but
Little
Another Day in
Easter egg.
Paradise.
Little
But
Easter egg.
welcome, welcome, welcome. We are Grown A Geeks. This is GAG Reviews. Tonight we're going to be talking about Paradise Season 2. I've been waiting to talk about this since Season 2 dropped. Every week I was like, we do a Paradise, do a Paradise. And tonight we're finally doing Paradise. The season's completed and we'll be talking about it. But before we get into that, because I got the homie Whitney, um, hey, Miss Brandy's gonna be in the chat. She's gonna be hanging out with us in chat tonight. Appreciate
Okay.
it. Got a little love there.
Hey, lady.
Um, so we are going to have a quick little discussion on anime,
Oh yeah,
and we're overdue
we
to
are.
talk about
We
some
are.
anime.
We
So
are. It has
feel
been a
like
good few weeks.
to do this correctly, we need to actually do our anime. So we're gonna jump in and do our anime, and then we'll come back to Paradise, and I will cut this section out. So we're gonna do our anime opener. Get ready.
Oh snap!
What's going on, people? How you doing? We are Grown A Geeks, and tonight we're gonna be talking about some anime. We're gonna do a quick little review on a couple of shows, some things that we've been watching. Basically, it'll be a "What are you watching?" episode, and we may discuss some other shows, and we'll get into it a little later. Later on, we're going to be coming back talking about Paradise. That's another part of the show. But right now, we're going to be all in on anime. We're overdue, and well, thank you, thank you, thank you. I be playing around with some stuff sometimes. I try. The anime opener is dope. Like I spent a lot of time on that one. I can't do that every time we have a show, but my anime opener
It was
is
on deck.
pretty
It
dope.
was on deck. It's always on deck.
So, my man RG,
What
let's
is
get
good?
into it.
Yes, yes.
What are you watching?
You know the main thing we got to discuss first and
We'll get
foremost.
right into that
And
JJK.
what?
Let's
No, that was honestly, yeah. Of
no.
course we are, but that wasn't my first pick.
Which one? What?
It's Frieren,
Fritter.
the
Oh,
new
yes.
season.
Yes.
That
Yes. I mean,
show has cemented itself, in
it
my
is just
opinion,
more
as the best.
it is just more goodness. The slice of life. You get enough action in the series to keep you interested and invested. You get to see some character development, and I like that little twist they put right there at the end of the season there. My man's a first
With the old
classmate.
dude. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, I want to. I can't wait. I'm really
Yeah.
hopeful we're gonna get that next season because I need to know what that's gonna be about because that's looking like that's gonna be quite interesting, and I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, that's looking
We've
2
seen
years down the
Fern.
road.
Fern has developed herself quite well.
Oh yeah.
My man Stark he's that dude. Like
He's
he is that
confident
dude.
now.
And he's not afraid to get in the mix. He doesn't mind being bait because he can handle it. And
Yeah.
that's pretty good. I'm still waiting for, dare I say, just a little bit more from Farron herself.
Uh-huh.
But because we're following the show, like we're following her journey, her footstep, her growth, it kind of makes sense. And they will continue to she's our gateway into this world. And with her having been in the heroes party and now coming back adventuring again, we get to see the comparison. And when you live as long as elves live,
right,
you can understand how she didn't take things. She took a lot of things for granted, basically.
yes.
And now we're getting to see how she's taken a moment to recognize and appreciate some of those things that she might have overlooked otherwise.
She is enjoying. It is about her journey. The show is about her journey into being able to express herself and embracing her emotions, like realizing that just because she's going to outlive people, it doesn't mean she can't love those people. It's okay to attach herself to people, and you know what I'm saying, to attach herself to people and know that they're going to pass away. You're going to outlive them. You know what I'm saying? But you can still enjoy the time that you get with them while you have it. Live in the present. And she's learning a lot more to live in the present, to be present in the moment. She's learning you see her now a lot appreciating these moments, these views. Every now and then they give us a really good, camera shot of, just this beautiful scenery where they're at, and all these things that she didn't appreciate the first time that she saw these things in the Heroes Party. But now, with Fern and Stark, it's like she's seeing it all over again. She's appreciating it for what it is. Like they're really opening her up a lot more. She smiles a lot more, compared to the flashbacks. You know what I'm saying? She's
Right.
enjoying herself. You know what I'm saying? And the power displays from her are appropriate. She's overpowered. There's really not going to be anything that's going to give her a problem unless we get to, that situation that we hope we get
Right.
next season, right? You know what I'm saying? With that Demon Lord dude. So it's absolute pleasure to watch this season. I like the way they've been releasing it.
All right, we got a guest jumping in. We got Miss Teresa.
Oh my God.
I love that. I cannot wait. Whose white baby is that? That is hilarious. That is perfect. That is perfect. Not once, but twice. Twice. Oh man, I cannot wait to get into that. We are actually doing. You're here for the perfect time. We're actually going to do a GAG anime session, and I will simply clip this, and we'll have because we haven't had an anime show in a while, so perfect timing that you're here for the anime show. We can get it out the way before Jeff hops on because he don't never like he can't really talk to anime with us. Working on it. He ain't there yet. But yeah, I am the last guy that we got to see, Volte, I think it dude with the 6 arms. The one that Stark and the other first class mage were having to fight.
Oh, okay. I know you're talking about. But
I thought he was going to be a little bit more of a threat.
Oh, okay.
And when old boy went to save the child, only for the child to end up being a demon, I was like, yo, did not see that coming. But that always seems to be like
talking about.
This would be Frerin.
Okay.
Journey's End. And season 2. Just going through some of the highlights of that show and really just what makes it such a great show.
Yeah.
And I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Oh, wait. Miss Brandy is joining us in our chat, so she's gonna be tuning in, talking with us through the show. I do agree that with the power level that Frerin has, she does put a lot off on Fern, and it's appropriate because it allows Fern to increase her skill level and get better, and she sees her judgment, and there's that mentoring is taking place. But when you need it, she's there and she handles business. So like I said, they sprinkle in just enough action to keep it from being all slice of life all the time. There's the random battle that takes place, and I enjoy that.
I watch it to watch her sleep. She just
Yeah, like those
leaks
little cuts as they
everywhere.
go
Like,
through. When they did that little montage of them staying in that one town for like 2 months, every time they showed her, she was in a different spot and
still
just it
sleeping
was
all over Fern, just
right. It's
reckless,
funny.
disrespectful.
I will say I did like seeing the reason she collects tomes, and that being like the payment so that there's no debt and
Yeah, I did enjoy
that
that.
she gets. I was like, okay,
That's cool.
that's admirable. I like
Yeah.
that. And it's those little moments like that that just add a little bit more to the story.
Oh yeah.
So still, I think a contender for like one of the best overall anime.
Yeah, it's number one on my list now. This
Yeah,
season put it number one on my list. So
yeah, it is without a doubt one that I recommend, especially for like beginner anime. I think it's perfect
yeah.
because it gives you enough, but it's also easy to follow, easy to understand, and it's just good. So I'm definitely in agreement with that.
Yeah.
Um, Teresa, I'm gonna put you on the spot. What anime are you watching right now?
A lot.
I know because
Mm.
you're actually increasing your watch list, and it's pretty impressive now, man.
I'm trying. I'm doing what I can. Free Rent is
You
on
are
my list. I
doing
haven't watched it yet, but it's on my list. I'm watching Dr. Stone.
okay,
Ooh, I've been meaning. Yeah,
okay.
that's on my list.
That one,
I just started season 3.
that was one my wife really liked
Mm-hmm.
because, like, she every night I go into the bedroom and she has Cartoon Network turned on. That's like
Mhm.
the sleep channel in our house, and so Toonami, when they ran Dr. Stone, she
Mhm.
was like every night watching Dr. Stone. She was locked in. And because she was locked in, of course, it caused me to kind of, be a little bit more involved. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, it's a good nerd show, man. Like they solve shit. It's a lot of science shit.
Exactly. And see, I think that's why I like it because I'm a big science nerd anyway. So, and somebody else had suggested it, and I actually was watching another show because I scratched a bunch of them off my list because I was doing like one season shows,
Hmm.
Mhm.
and I was watching the Water Witch or something like that. Something about some witches. No, was it the Silent Witch? I think it was the Silent Witch.
Mm.
And Crunchyroll said that I had run out of dubbed episodes, and it was like, "Do you want to continue in Japanese?" Hell no, I don't want to continue in Japanese. But it actually was wrong. The rest of them were dubbed, but I
Mhm.
didn't know that. It said I had run out of dubbed episodes, so I was like, well, I have to find something else to watch. And somebody else had suggested Dr. Stone, so I just, went ahead
Yeah.
and started that one.
Okay.
So now I got to stop and go back and finish the Silent Witch, but because it's on like 2 or 3 more episodes, and I got 2 or 3 more seasons of Dr. Stone. So
See,
Gotcha.
I do that sometimes when I'm in between shows or after a season is ended. I'll go in and find a 12, 13 episode one season and just like knock
yep.
it out. Um, I just
Yeah.
did Jack of all trades. I just finished that one.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Okay.
and that one it wasn't bad.
Nah, it's not bad at all.
I
It's
don't like the way they ended the season because I feel like a show like that, especially if that's the way season one ends, you shouldn't drop that until you have at least 2 seasons because they loaded so
mm,
much up in the last episode. Well, I'd say the last two
okay.
episodes, they loaded so much up that you don't feel like there's closure for that to be
Yeah,
the
it
season.
happened fast. It happened real fast.
And you have an OP main character, which I'm okay with. I don't, I'm not one of those people who cries like, "Oh, he's too strong." No, I think like I like the conditions under which they made him strong, but
Yeah.
it's also like if this dude is as strong as he is, why was he ever in a party? And that's the part that's kind of like, okay,
Right.
maybe he a little too strong because
Right. You're doing
you
that
know,
Jin Woo boosting people up,
yeah. I mean, it's like if I walk onto a random court and I'd like jump in a pickup game for 21 and I see they got Michael Jordan on their team, I don't want to play. Like, I don't want to play. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's
Right.
kind of how it looks. And so it's like the way the story kind of progresses, they make it seem as though he's like this really weak character because he's an enchanter. So everybody has like, you have your defender, you have your attacker, you have your wizard. He's an enchanter. So his
But
job
wants
is
to be a swordsman.
He wanted, right. He always wanted to be a
Yeah, he
swordsman, but
wanted to
he
be a
switched from
swordsman.
being a swordsman to become an enchanter because that's what the party didn't have and that's what the party needed. So he's already kind of multi-classing, which right off the rip tells me like, oh, okay, so you have lots of skills because you have all your swordsman skills and now you have these enchanting skills. And watching him go through and just handle things, it's like, so you're not the party leader, you just a part of the party. And by the time they finally like allow him to step out on his own, it's like you looking at him like, dude is so powerful, he should have never been in a party. So it kind of throws you for a little bit. But as the story goes on, everything kind of explains itself and makes a little sense. But like I said, they started dropping stuff those last 2 episodes that just kind of have you scratching your head like, wait, what? What am I watching now? And it's
Yeah, he
just like
just kind of went,
such a sharp left.
Yeah,
right there at the end.
The OP explanation just wasn't sufficient enough. Like I'm like, really? Really? You could have did this the whole time? Really? Like, I don't believe if he would have just required a little help, if there would have been something, right? There were other powerful, you know, I guess they're mages. I can't remember what they're called, but you know, other powered people there who could have helped.
Yeah, like
could have healed
the other enchanter.
Like when he needed, like when he needed healing, I thought old girl was gonna like, oh, boom, I'll heal him up. Like, thank you. That would have been realistic. Like, no, I don't need your heals. You're gonna slow me down. Like,
right? He was like, no, don't worry about it. You'll just interrupt me. I'm like, this dude here.
It's free heals. Like, yeah, I don't understand that. So, yeah.
So I've also been watching Sentenced to Be a Hero.
Ooh.
I struggle with that show.
That show looks awesome. The animation of that show is beautiful.
It is a good looking show, and even the art style and the animation, it is crisp. It is enjoyable. The storyline is interesting.
Yeah,
but it also like just every episode finds a way to piss me off.
The characters it's like, really, dude, let it go. She can help you. Why are you being so, like, I don't know. They never explain why he doesn't like her, why he just can't fuck with her. Like,
well, they did. There was the episode where they showed his actual trial.
Uh-huh.
And when you see his trial and you I promise you, I get it. Because it's one that I do find I often have to like skip back and listen to something because I was like nodding on it, like, wait, what? What did they say? Huh? But no, it explains because of course, you know, they call him a goddess killer, and you see his trial, and you get to see like why he has issue with even having a goddess. And
okay.
How all of that came about. And you know, you get to like episode 10, 11, he starts to kind of warm up, and it, you know, he's getting there.
He gave it a head pat.
Yeah, like he gave the head pats, and so there's that part of it.
Yeah.
But like I said, every episode that show finds a way to piss me off.
Yeah. Have you watched any Hell's Paradise?
I have finished Hell's Paradise, and they just need the shit to get off the pot. Like, I really, really, really want to like this show. I really do. The fight scenes are dope. The characters are hilarious. The storyline makes no sense. The whole like Tan and Tao and people are becoming plants, and now this dude is a plant, but he's not a plant. The girl is dead, but she's not dead. She was just resting her eyes. Like, come on, bro, just commit to something. And then the stuff they commit to be the stuff I'm not interested in. Like the blind swordsman, why did his student get killed so quick? Dude came in looking like he was going to be that guy, and they was like, nope. I'm like, okay.
That was the first season, man. We got that out the way early, man. Live in the now.
True.
What happened? Why are you talking about old shit? You talking about old shit.
I mean, even when I'm trying to be in the now, like Gabby Morrow, I will say, do watch it. It is a good show. Just I'm watching it with my arms crossed every time. That's how it gets watched.
I understand.
You know what I'm saying? But I mean, it's also at the point now where it's like every anime, like because shows are flying through so quick, you know what I'm saying? Like you get 10, 15 episodes, 12 is like average.
Right.
Kind of like we were talking the other day. These shows, they jump out there. It's just like all gas, no brakes.
It's a dump. Yeah, it's an eight episode
all
dump.
gas, no brakes. And so you almost don't care about a lot of the characters. And they're forcing you to care about this person, like they're letting you know who to follow.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so it's like the people I'm interested in don't get the screen time. The whole story is supposed to be about Gabby Maru. Okay, cool.
Yeah, they be taking like a whole episode. They took a whole that fight with the blind dude, and I was like, "Come on, really? You a whole episode? You're not that interested. We really don't care about y'all relationship. Like 1,000, you killed her 1,000 times,
and then you got the old girl who's following him, calling him sensei and whatnot. Is she ever going to swing her sword?
No, he don't want her. She's not good enough. He keep telling her no. He'd be like, "Chill, you're gonna get hurt."
Why is she there? She should have went with the.
He tried. Well, you know, he's trying to save her life, man. You know what I'm saying? She's supposed to die. She's sentenced to die, which is now what we're getting into, because now it's coming to a head. Because now all of the new Yamadas are there. So
see, and with the new Yamada showing up, like I expected a little bit more from that. And the shinobi that showed up, they have their own objectives, and of course, it's like I just keep waiting for something to pop off. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's right. Like
the Gabi Maru and old girl fight against the Tenzin or what? Yeah, is that what it was? Tenzin? Yeah, one of the Tenzin. Yeah. That was a decent episode. You know what I'm saying? That was a decent fight.
Nah,
you know what? You know what they suffer from? Because I could understand. I'm not gonna defend that show too hard.
He pulled a Rocky on
that. Their power ups are fucking weak as fuck. Like it's like, dude, you are on death's door. You know what I'm saying? Like these dudes be on death's door. And then just
always
all of a sudden remember a flower that they used to like growing up, and it looked like the flower on the body of the motherfucker they fighting, and that gives them some strength. It comes out the blue for the dumbest reasons, man. It's like, all right, okay.
I'm gonna live so I can get back to my wife, even if it costs me my humanity.
Got you.
What?
You're gonna see her looking like Groot. And she ain't gonna love you no more.
I am Gabby Maru. That's all he gonna be able to say. I am Gabby Maru.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I don't know. It's a good show.
I'm sorry I brought that up, man. My bad.
It is a good show. It's another one that's just like I said, I just want them to commit.
Yeah.
Whatever they're gonna do, just stick with that. They keep flip-flopping. And like you said, everybody be on death's door. They be on like last breath. And then they come back and it's come on, no stakes.
Strong.
It feels like there's no stakes. You know what I'm saying? Like these people, somebody.
I remember when I was supposed to punch you.
If somebody had been killed off, like for real, out of this group, then we would feel like, okay, they serious and it's a problem, but they're just like
somebody
way more
about
skilled
to die,
than these guys.
Somebody about to die. These new dudes is like, yo, these niggas got to go. Like that dude is a killer. That one dude is a killer. One of them is going to die. Homeboy with the eye patch is not making it to season 3. I can tell you that much. He's not making
he should already be dead.
True. But do you want
Jujutsu
to get
Kaisen.
it? There you go.
Jujutsu Kaisen.
Let's end on a good note.
Nothing about this has disappointed me. I've been very happy about this season of Jujutsu Kaisen. Even though I have no clue and no context to understand what the culling game is, I've been enjoying the culling game arc. These fights, there's one thing, and it's not even a complaint, it's just something I didn't understand.
Mm-hmm.
When Kenjaku set up these zones, did people like acquire powers that didn't have powers before?
No, it's not that. It's all the sorcerers that are in the area. So sorcerers just exist, you know what I'm saying? But they be quiet because you know what I'm saying? Like the high school motherfuckers, there's powers
like you got
that
Reggie with all the receipts. He already had that power before.
Exactly.
And now, as a result, he's just taking
now he can let loose.
Right.
Now he can let loose because you're in the game.
Okay.
You're in this, you know, so yeah. You don't read the rules before you watch every episode?
I do. I read a lot of those rules.
We watch very different kinds of anime usually, so I have nothing to add because I watch slice of life rom-coms. So
ooh, enjoy.
I'm very much an action.
I'm not gonna steal your joy.
RPG.
Enjoy.
Isekai. Like,
I don't care about fight choreography.
I'm always curious about people who get transported to another world. Like, if there's something involving somebody getting transported to another world. There was this one anime I was watching. This guy actually was already in a far off land, and he died and got transported to another world. I was like, that's a first.
Yeah.
They isekai the isekai.
Person. I know, right?
I was like, that's different. Okay. And literally, I think that was called Chilling in Another World with My Level 2 Cheat Powers.
Wow. You gotta love the names. It is
gotta love it.
They just
if the name isn't a paragraph, I'm probably not interested.
Fuck it.
Like,
they were like, yo, we need a title for the show. What's it about? I'm a level the thing. Put that on the card.
Whatever they call it is what it is, and the description is the name. But like, here's the ones that I've recently added to the list. I've been killing slimes for 300 years and maxed out my level. Tojima wants to be a common writer. I did find Michiko and Hachin, and I'm like 10 episodes in on that.
All right, good shit.
Let's see. Yeah, Chilling in Another World with my level 2 super cheat powers. I may be a guild receptionist, but I'll solo the boss to clock out on time. That is a funny. That is a hilarious.
That's the name of the show.
That is the name of the show.
That's the name of the show.
I may be a guild receptionist, but I'll solo any boss to clock out on time. And that show is funny as hell.
Yeah, they definitely are trolling us. They are. It's okay.
But I'm also waiting. Like, I've also figured out that some of these, I do believe that Crunchyroll, their whole goal is to get you to buy manga. They'll throw an anime up there, and it'll be a really good one. And then, of course, like, you want more. They're not even close to the next season, but it's already got like 50 chapters. So
they do sell manga, so
they do.
So if you cross over, because I mean, that's one of the things I think about. Like, how does anime make money? You know what I'm saying? In some cases, it can be merchandise, but I don't see a lot of like anime toys. You know what I'm saying? It has to really be a hit anime, like Dragon Ball Z notoriety, to get toys. You know what I'm saying? Like My Hero Academia had some toys. Dragon Ball Z obviously has toys. Power Rangers, well, that's live action mostly. You know what I'm saying? But it's like those types of things, they'll get toys. But like, I'm not going to see toys for To Be Hero X. I might see a statue or a figurine.
Yeah.
Right.
But you're not getting like toys from that. So obviously, the way that they're going to be able to make a profit on that is, here's a season, here's 24 episodes, enjoy that, but go read and buy all of these chapters when they come out and enjoy that, so they can keep that going. Because Shonen Jump for a long time, you know what I'm saying, would put all of the episodes, like that was a publication that was more popular than the show.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, even though everybody's like trying to catch up with One Piece and it was 1,000 episodes, you know how many books that is?
Yeah.
So
they
can go about it that way.
Yeah, not cheap. $14 a pop when they fresh.
Right. And if you want to get the information before anybody else so it doesn't get ruined,
okay,
got to be on that read list. Got to be there. But Jeff, any anime that you've watched recently, or okay? I always got to check. I always got to check.
I started on the One Piece live action season 2, but that's as close to anime as I've been in a long time, brother.
Okay, well, I just did not want you to be excluded. I mean, Lisa's got her watch list, so she's getting them knocked out.
Hey man, I don't have no issues letting people do their thing.
He said, "I gotta be in every conversation."
I'm a drummer. Hey, everybody else can solo all they want. I'm gonna just keep the time.
Right. All right. Well, that's the stuff that we're watching right now. That's what I'm watching. I've got a few things that I've added to the list recently. Like I said, I just finished Jack of All Trades, Party of Nine. Death March to the Parallel World, Rhapsody. That's on the list to start watching. I've been killing slimes for 300 years, maxed out my level. Roll Over and Die. Tojima Wants to Be a Kamen Rider. Those are all ones that I've recently added to my list. I'll finish up with Michiko and Hachin. And I think all the current shows have just done their season finales. So I have a whole list of new stuff to start watching.
You bigged up the Outcast. Have you seen all 3 seasons of the Outcast?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
China's killing it. China's killing it.
And that's actually a really good one because it's actually, you know what, Jeff, that might be one that you might enjoy because they have enough pop culture references.
We want those views, man.
It's also very similar to like X-Men in the context of like mutant
what is it called?
Powers, abilities.
The Outcast.
The Outcast.
You already put one kind of outcast.
Oh.
Is it on Crunchyroll?
Yes, ma'am.
It is on Crunchyroll.
Yes. The hand-to-hand, now, sorry, Teresa, but it's the fight choreography.
The fight choreography.
But you mentioned mutants, so
yeah. Like I mean,
how do you spell outcast?
Outcast.
The right way. The right
Hitori
way.
no Shida.
Yep, that's it.
That's what the name of the show is called?
Yes.
Oh, Hitori no Shida, the Outcast. Singular.
Yes.
Got it. I was looking for a group of outcasts.
Oh, yeah. No, just cast.
I don't see that on. Oh, there it is. Wait, it was something else in front of it.
Oh. Yeah, Hitori no Shida. Yeah.
That's got zombies too. I like zombies. That's too many damn episodes, though.
Under one person?
8 seasons?
It's a I don't know. It's not 8 seasons. I think there's like
so oftentimes when it shows like that, it's because they'll have it in different languages.
Yeah.
And so they'll list it. It's only got 3 seasons.
Yeah, it's only 3 seasons. But they'll have a lot. It'll be like season 3. And it'll be in a different language.
Because like there's English, there's probably like French, there's Spanish or something like that. And then it'll be one season that's only in Chinese. And they list it as a season.
Losing me, man. Hey, I'm gonna say something like this. I can't say something. I know, like for the anime community, y'all be trying to get your like serious film, serious art on, but like, bruh, it's okay for us to watch the dubs, man. Everybody don't
Absolutely.
want to sit down and read.
Absolutely.
Oh, I
Yeah,
don't.
I'm not.
I was.
Yeah, I'm
I
not.
was
I'm
just
not
about
letting
to
that
say
shit.
that this Outcast does not have English dub, so
Yeah,
I
that's
won't be
true.
watching that anytime
That's
soon.
Yeah, I can't do the whatever however they talk, and then I'm trying to read because it don't be feeling like the
Wow.
emotions match.
Wow.
So hey,
And honestly, that is fair because
I'm not saying it
there are
shouldn't
some
exist.
cases where
I'm just
no,
saying
there are some cases where the voiceover isn't as good as the original. You know what I'm saying? So
because
it's
other
like,
cultures express emotions differently than we do also. So it's
yeah.
like I'm reading something and it's like every
Am I
time
using the
these
right
every time
voice?
these girls get sad, they start talking like a baby. I'm like, what is that?
Right.
Or it be
Wow.
stuff
No, I mean
happening
it's
where they be like talking back, but it's like you don't sound like the attitude you should have talking back to this person. When I'm listening to like the Japanese versions,
Right.
and so I'm just like, if it ain't a dub, I ain't messing with it.
fair enough.
I can
Fair
understand.
enough.
I can
All
understand.
right. Well, we will get into some more anime at a later date. We may do a review on one or two of the shows that are coming up. RG will get together and maybe we'll just do like a special watch of something. Teresa, you give me something to watch with you, and I'll go through it with you, and we'll come back and we'll do a review on that as well. You get me into some slice of life, and I give it a shot. I'm more open to it after watching Frerin. Like it could be pretty interesting. So I'm up for it. I'm game. Well, that's our anime segment. Appreciate it. I'm gonna do a quick little wrap up on the anime so that I can clip this part out and we can have that whole little section. So we hope you've enjoyed our discussion today on anime. RG has the QR code, so just scan that QR code right there by him. Make sure you like and subscribe. Follow us everywhere you can find Grown A Geeks, and we will catch you next time. All right, peace. And we'll give it a few seconds so I can cut that out. That was at 37 minutes. Note to self. Okay. I had a really good intro for this episode while we get ready to talk about Paradise. So I'm gonna play that intro again because I want y'all to get the full effect of the intro.
Do it. Do it.
That way, if I do cut it, I know exactly where it's. So we had 38 minutes. Okay, so here we go with our Paradise episode.
But that boy had us in the nightclub from Shang-Chi.
Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, let me tell you, I had to search to find a copyright-free version of Another Day in Paradise so that I could play that song because the cover that they do in the show, I like that version too. It's like super slow. It ain't the original Phil Collins, but
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I do like the cover they do in the show. It's like soft and melodic, and none of those were available. So I had to go and find one that I could use for this episode. But see, I would like every once in a while I get a little tired. I can do a little something. Well, she got a chance to see our anime opener, and like when I have time to do it, it looks really, really good. But we are Grown A Geeks. Tonight we're going to be talking about Paradise Season 2. Great show that's been on Hulu, starring Sterling K. Brown and a cast of others. We're gonna cover all the good parts. I definitely want to get into some of the standout. Well, we're gonna talk about the whole season, but I do feel there were some parts that were very good. There were some parts that were a little questionable, and then of course, there's that ending. So we'll get into that. Of course, as anytime we do a review, let's start with the very basics. overall, what did everybody think? Scale of 1 to 10. Are we liking this show in season 2? Is it keeping us going, or are
Is
we
that a
starting to
4,
fade?
That's
RG?
a 4.
Wow.
That's a 4. Season is terrible.
I give it. I
Go
like
ahead.
it. I give it a 9.72.
Wow. Just to
All right.
offset my 4.
Yes.
We got Teresa Lee in the room with a 9.72 out of 10.
It's not fair. It's bad average.
I love
give
it.
it-
I
I
thought
give
they
it
did
a-
some really unexpected things, and to keep me engaged and everything.
Okay.
I give it a. You know what? I'll give it an 8 because there were some things that, for me, some things in terms of the pacing and the order of the episodes that I felt like severely hurt it at the end of the season. Like we talked about how the penultimate episode was so good, and then the reveal of who the killer was kind of, that felt like more of an afterthought in how it was
Right.
done. But I feel like for me they rectified some of that. I think it's been interesting seeing the shift in the focus of what the show is showing us, but I have a theory about that can be discussed later in the show, not in the initial reactions.
And I do want to get to that because I'm curious. Interesting you say that. I'm giving it a 7.5. I like everything they've done that feels like improvement. I think they're coming in trying to tell a linear story now. And this go round, since there was less, it didn't feel as flashbacky, even though they had some very key moments that required a little bit of flashback. So that was understandable, as opposed to, it felt like every 5 minutes in season 1, there was a flashback, and then we would catch up, and then there was a flashback, and we catch up. So it was almost like you were watching 2 shows or something. You know what I'm saying? Like they tried to do a Memento, or what's Tarantino movie? Pulp Fiction, where they're jumping around so much, it was kind of hard to stay paced. This go round, I feel like the story is a little bit more linear, and the flashbacks feel a little bit more appropriate. But I think somewhere along the lines they forgot the story they were telling, and I don't think they've properly set up the story they're trying to tell. So that could get into what you're talking about, Jeff. And so we'll get to that. It's okay. A little bit of going around. RG, do you want to kick us off with what you hate about?
Go ahead.
You want to have positivity first.
Yeah,
Nah. Let's take them down. Here's the bad news, because you get good news 3 times. So it's all good. It only goes up from here, people. Just so you know. Just goes up from here. Here was the problem I have with this show, right? But hold on. Let me just start by saying this. Here's what's good about the show. Let me be positive. Let me be positive for once. What's good about the show is that the actors are taking their roles seriously. Every single one of them, those characters are believable characters. They are all humanized. I do feel each of them, and they are doing a very good job with the characters that are in the show. And then it stops there, because it's just it happens so quickly, right? Because of the 8 episode season, and you gotta hurry up and do it, and you're trying to make me care about this character. You're doing damn half the episode about this character, and I don't care. I don't need that episode about her. I don't need to know. It doesn't help the story. She's not that person. It doesn't help. She's not crucial to move it. I don't need that information, knowing how she became the way she did to get to this point. There's so much of it where they want you to care about these characters. And I just can't care about the characters. It's the same thing you said about when, in the anime episode, that, because the episode's so short, it's hard to get invested in the characters. And this show suffers from that for me. It's just, okay, all right, I guess they're going to get here. But the last 2 episodes happened all because of fucking stupidity. Just straight stupidity. Redundancies on redundancies. But then the redundancies wasn't redundant when it was supposed to be a redundancy. And that's why we're here. That's how you get to this situation. Like,
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes, man.
RG, what do you like?
I like when the writing and the...
I mean, not necessarily about this. I just want to know something like a show or a movie that you liked, that you would give.
I'll take a show that I feel like has great writing, and Luther. I'm a huge fan of Luther, right? That show has a consistency. It's an intelligent show. You know what I'm saying? It's always on. Everything that happens makes sense to me. It's a logical progression of the characters. You know what I'm saying? But with this show, sorry, it tries, and it's like, I don't care about the president's son. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't. They waste too much time on them. The show is supposed to be about this dude. You only have 8 episodes. You cannot make me care about 12 people. I'm not going to care about 12 people. You need to give more screen time to, Sterling. You know what I'm saying? Give more screen time to Sterling. And then, look, I didn't even like this dude's wife. Like, I was like...
But the show is called Paradise. It's not called Xavier. It's not like Luther.
I know it's supposed to be about multiple people. It's supposed to be about that place.
It's about the entire world.
Yeah, I don't make
I'm
me care.
And each season, the scope of that world changes.
I'm more.
I know what they're doing.
You just happen to mention she.
They're doing it too quick.
Which
they
she did you not?
Indoors.
Which she were you not interested in? The wife, or were you referring to Annie, or
Xavier's wife?
Terry.
Terry. I was like, can you be just a little bit sweeter? That whole getting to know each other situation, I was just like, yo, she mean as fuck, man. Like, I gotta like her because this nigga like her. Like, she's saying no a lot. Like, goddamn, he was just trying to be. We get it. It's cute. Right? I'm happy that they fell in love like that. I think that's awesome.
You don't have to like her. You just have to understand why Xavier does.
I don't understand.
And that's because you don't understand Xavier.
I don't. He's so
other people
he's so one camp. He's like super
people...
stoic. He's super stoic, right? Like he's like this super stoic dude. And then he's in the hospital and sees this chick. She looked good, and he's like, "Oh, I like her. I'm gonna try to get with her." And then she just keep curbing this nigga.
So now, if you notice, Xavier was almost a different person when he was in the hospital.
That's what I was about to say. The purpose,
as you pointed out, he's very stoic. When he was in the hospital, he was all like, hey, I'm going to get to know you. And buddy, ha, 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 la, la, la. And slowly we watch as she goes through her trial with blindness and things like that. We see that he stops being quite as jovial and he starts to be a little more serious. And then finally, when she does get her vision back and they have, that moment and they embrace, and you see how that's going. From there, we see that's kind of the person he's become now. He's carried that weight through that time, and that continues to be who he is. And that was actually going to be one of the things I had a problem with in season 2, is like having seen where he was. And it's just like the world has just continued to dump on this man when he should have been happier. But it seems like things continued to kind of dump on him. And we started to see he was coming out of that a little bit, only for the world to dump on him again. And it seems like every time he tries to climb out, more shit gets dropped on him. So
don't fly planes in the storm.
Well, no, he's going to get the wife. Like once he heard that, because when you go through 3 years of thinking she's dead and then hear her voice and notice she's out there.
Oh no, I understand.
We already see the kind of commitment, you know.
Yeah, I understand motivation.
So like,
that's just a joke. That's just a joke.
Yeah, no,
I know why. I'm not. I don't want to seem cruel, dog. Yeah, I'm not cruel like that. And I'm like, don't fly in the storm to get your wife. I understand. I'd have done the same. But I'm saying, you know, them just jokes. I'm watching it happen to somebody else.
I mean, I couldn't help but to laugh and thinking, like, who was he Mayday into?
Right?
Like,
there's no other planes, you know.
But you know, maybe if there was a radio communication,
but they're getting radio
you heard her voice. Maybe somebody will hear your voice.
There is radio communication.
So, like I said, he heard his wife's voice, so maybe somebody hear his voice. Okay, so we have the low end. I guess let's go to the high end. Teresa,
turn it up.
Some of your highlights.
Yeah, you know, listening to RG makes me think that maybe I'm watching it wrong. You know, because I had such a different experience.
Good.
I was entertained. I enjoyed it. You know, just
absolutely.
Maybe not every episode, but I'm going to say at least 6 out of 8 episodes. I was like, whoa, you know, and at the end, I was really thinking they have got some creative writers, you know, because how did they come up with this stuff? I at the end of every episode, I was really, you know, ready to go on to the next one. And when I hear RG say that he didn't care about anybody, basically, in the, you know, they didn't make him care about anything in the show, I'm really like, did I watch it wrong?
I cared about Xavier. That was it.
Well,
I enjoyed it. I
don't think you're watching it wrong. So let me say this. I understand what is entertaining about the show. So I understand why other people find it entertaining. That is, I am not trying to convert anybody over to my opinion. It is terrible. It is horrible on my blood pressure to be watching shows like this and hate them so much. So I don't recommend this for anybody else. But when I watch a show, I'm very much what makes characters appeal to me is a consistency in that universe's character's behavior, right? If you have shown that you will do things for this reason, you will make this decision, you will do this, you're this type of person. When all of a sudden you start doing certain things that just seem so contrary to that character, it takes me out the story. Because it's like, now that's not what that person would do. The writer just decided they should do that at that moment. Now, I'm not saying this show suffers from that greatly. Like, that is not the show's issue to me. The show's issue to me is just that things happen so quickly and in an entertaining way, right? Like, it's adventurous and things like that, but it's not enough to make me feel like y'all wouldn't have really gotten to this situation if y'all didn't do this. And normally, the way y'all be acting, y'all wouldn't just do that. Like, that's just this certain leaps to character, certain things that they missed, right, that required the story to go forward. Like, you want me to believe Xavier never read Jane's file at all? She's on his team. You're not watching the security. Like, they should have never showed that file existed. Like, they should have never done that. When they showed that, it took me out of it. Like, I was like, there's all of that redaction in there. There's no way for me to believe that this thorough-ass dude did not go through the file of every person that was on the security detail that had to be around the president. So
he didn't pick the security detail.
But that wasn't his job. His job was to be on the security detail, and he thought that everybody else on the security detail was as qualified as he was. He didn't know that they were
he didn't pick
plants.
the security detail.
You know, he thought they were secret.
I thought he was who was their boss was?
The lady.
The Sinatra lady.
Sinatra. She was the one, because remember, she was the one giving Billy the assassination assignments outside before they went into the mountain,
Right.
and she was the one
Okay.
who
And
made sure
Xavier
that what's
didn't
the
know
name
that
was
he
on the
was,
thing.
a hitman. And he didn't know, he didn't have any reason to think he was. He thought he was a qualified secret service agent like he was. He had no
True.
reason to think that Jane
Jane
was
would have
a
been.
lunatic, a
Okay, yeah, that's right. He
complete
didn't have
freaking
access.
lunatic.
Fucking
Yeah.
Black
I definitely
Widow.
thought
For real.
it became clear she was a CIA spook. And that's the first thing that I thought about when I saw the episode with Jane, of course, is that, okay, that explains a little bit more, because as you see these people and you get some of their background, it does that to me kind of helps close some of the gaps and answer some of the questions we would have had. Why would they do this? That doesn't make sense. Having those moments, it does fill in those gaps and answer those questions where we had to speculate before. Now we just see she's had issues since she was a child.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And we see that she doesn't get her way. She, obviously has like some schizophrenic tendencies. You know what I'm saying? And it may even be not quite. Yeah, well, I think that's in there as well. But she has dissociative personality disorder. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's even beyond just schizophrenic, because like the imaginary friend and the conversation there.
Right.
But the way she can like switch on and off that protector personality, the one that can get in there and do it, that's that dissociative personality disorder that, she go into that mode and it's a problem, because she'll sit there and, do something and then like, oh my God, the president's dead. Like, I'm just watching. I was like, you know what? I'm not even mad. That was some great acting. That was some great acting, because you really look like, I mean, you set that up so nicely. Okay. Yeah. And so I think with given that this is an ensemble story, not even so much that, in addition to an ensemble cast, like there are a lot of different stories that are taking place. And I get what you're saying as far as them not giving it enough time. It is 8 episodes. They do kind of fast track you, but I feel like they give you enough of the information. And I kind of thought it was rather consistent. I don't think there was anybody who did anything I wouldn't expect outside of like the random plot twist. Like I thought it was going to be something crazy. Like I thought Gary the mailman was going to be related to the librarian or something stupid like that. You know what I'm saying? I thought they was just going to take this huge world and shrink it down even more, because that's the part that's kind of throwing me off. Like we talking about all the people on the planet, and this guy name is Dylan, and he has the same birthday. Okay.
Ask Alex.
See, and that right there. Whew. Jeff, you want to get into your stuff? Do you have any highlights, the positive, or do you want to get into the weird, or what?
Oh yeah, I want to hear this.
I don't think it's really weird. I think that I kind of have been thinking about the show in terms of how the creator and the writer is like structuring it, right? So I understand RG's point, because I think like if you were to look at this as just like Sterling K. Brown's show, then like yes, I would be dissatisfied with the amount of Sterling K. Brown that we got this season, especially considering how much there was last season. But I also feel like the purpose was to expand the world. So it's like, where are the threats coming from? Season 1 is like internal threats. Now season 2 was external threats. And season 3 seems like it's leaning into like existential threat, right? Like we got to go stop an AI computer that's trying to stop
restart
the future
time
from
or
happening.
something.
You send them up
Running the Miss Cleo program.
Yeah, so I think that I find that storytelling fascinating, and I think I have less issue of I have less issue with them like moving around between so many stories because I feel like the point of the show is to show kind of how everything is interconnected. And I think in some ways it's hard to pull off something as convoluted as Xavier is carries Annie's baby back to his birth father at the bunker. Like that
he
feels
just
like
escaped from, and
Really?
is now trying to return
and
to
so
after
now
retrieving his wife.
so now this is Sinatra's grandbaby.
Right.
So it's hard to pull something like that off, but when I was watching it, I wasn't like this is convoluted. Like I'm like sometimes like you can watch a show like this and you can see all the seams, you can see all the wires they using to like get Peter Pan
Try
to
to keep
fly.
this thing together.
And I think for me, I really was like, it's not just about one person, it's about the community. There were a few moments where I was like, that doesn't necessarily seem like the best way to play that, but I'm also willing to re-examine some of those considering like the outcome in that part of the story. Um I think some of the people I was just less interested in. Like I wasn't really interested in the like rebel prison break subplot, but I understand it was needed because somebody had to like f up the reactor core.
Right.
Right.
But it was like, all right, cool. But it's also like I don't think I'm supposed to connect with every single person. I'm okay with that. I recognize you here to serve a
A lot
purpose
of
for the
people run
plot.
around
That
in
don't
the background.
resonate with you. You know, sometimes some shit don't resonate with you.
Yeah. I thought the story of what Xavier's wife was doing while she was gone, I really enjoyed kind of seeing the perspective of like, okay, we got a whole season about what people on the inside are going through. Now we're seeing like all these different ways that people who were not as fortunate to make it into paradise, how did they handle it? How does a woman handle a pregnancy? How does a large convoy group move together? What if it's just a bunch of kids? Like now you got the you know literally the Lost Boys out in the woods just like robbing people and hiding from like creeps. And I think that is the whole purpose of like yes, the people inside don't even know all this is going on outside. There's
Right.
that separation, there's that barrier. So even for us, it's like the backdrop for me in my mind was just like, so what's happening outside that these people have to stay like this inside? How long is that going to last? And then at the end of the season, when we see Xavier leaving, it's like, cool. I'm excited because they're going to cover what I've kind of just been thinking about this whole time is like, okay, so what's going on outside of the mountain? I think that they did a good job of telling the story as best you can in 8 episodes. I think it probably could have had, if it had more episodes, I don't think it would have just given us more detail and probably done a little bit better at like what RG was looking for and like getting to know some of these characters a little bit better and having that much more time with Xavier. Because it did feel like Annie got basically like a whole episode. Dylan got a whole episode. Jane got a whole episode, but it felt like,
Gary.
yeah. And then it felt like some of the Xavier stuff was just being like woven in between what everybody else had going on. And so it's like, if you don't care about these people, then I get it. But I think the point is to show like when Xavier's wife is out in the world, she had to like make her own paradise. She had to figure out a way to create her own community. And so for me, I think it's just as important to like see that as it is to see the like super secret bunker for all the elites. You know what I'm saying? Because if I'm keeping it a bean, when that shit happened, they're not calling me to go in no fucking bunker.
So I'm gonna be out here.
Right. I'm not even going
out.
to be in the basement of the post office because I'm not that good at anything.
And I will acknowledge that I did like the fact that they presented the outside world as not like this Mad Max type situation. You know what I'm saying? That there were groups that were willing to cooperate and work together. That it wasn't, oh my God, just roaming bands of,
Right.
bandits and shit like that. You know
Robbing
what I'm
and
saying?
pillaging.
Right. You know
Frat
what I'm
boys.
saying? Yeah. So I am glad that they did portray the world that way.
I
And
will
let me
say
say
that
that
I was
I
a
do
little
not discount
concerned.
RG's opinion at all. I appreciate your opinion. The fact that we do have differing opinions, that we're supposed to. So, I appreciate you being strong behind your opinion.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, stay
I try to
strong.
stand on business.
Stay strong, soul brother.
As I went through,
Support the cause.
this season 2, as I mentioned before, I do feel like they were trying to tell a more linear story, whereas the first one, it was a whodunit kind of murder mystery that they were trying to leave for you to solve, but they were also trying to show you how we got here, and now that we're here, what are we doing? That, I think, was 3 different stories trying to be told at one time. And so, because they were telling 3 separate stories, a lot got lost in translation between those. This go round, I feel like they were telling a single story. The flashbacks were still a part of that single story. And that's what made viewing it more enjoyable. As it was like, here's what's happened. Here's what we're trying to have happen. This is where we are. This is where we're trying to go. And then it was just do it. And so, of course, we came across like, the plane crash, the recovery, the travel, the baby. It was like all of these things are just the events that happen along the way. Again, it was just A, B, C, D. And because the storytelling went that way, it allowed me to stay kind of locked in to what's going on. We have these other subplots, these sub stories, which, all movies and TV shows have that. That's fine. And I don't think any of them were detracting from the main story. They all, in a weird way, were kind of incorporated to it as well. When Jeremy finds out that the surface world is not what they think it is, and that, people can live on the surface, his whole thing was he wanted to give people freedom of choice. Ultimately, the people who are inside paradise don't know what's happening outside. They're oblivious. He just wanted people to wake up and open their eyes and know what the options were, so to speak. For him, he believes that that's what his father died for. And so, given that he didn't have the best relationship with his dad, I think this is his way of trying to have that minor redemption arc. You know what I'm saying? He was a spoiled brat. You know what I'm saying? He was an asshole kid. And now he's trying to, focus on something bigger. Somebody, oh, trying to focus on something bigger than him. As we follow the situation with Jane, she is just self-serving. Simple as that. She is looking at her own interest and whatever works best for her, whatever form that takes. And she's obviously good.
Sorry, I was gonna say, I think with Jane though, it's also like she's in search of a mother figure to give her the validity she never got from her own mom. Because even if you see all the people she really latches herself onto are the powerful women at the facility, and then everybody pretty much who she actually gets away with killing is a man. And then last season, it made me think about how she didn't hurt like the kids, and that's also maybe like even knowing her background, just a result of her being like, hey, maybe this is my line where I tell myself I'm not a monster because I wouldn't hurt kids. I just kill a
Right.
bunch of I'll kill a bunch of adults, but I won't hurt any kids.
Yeah, and that's definitely a noticeable factor for her. I thought it was kind of she was playing that long game with Dr. Torobi, sitting in the shower
Yeah.
but at the same time, like they can't show her get out, but she wasn't in the shower when everything was falling. So
But you know something? They wasted.
now we got this cycle on the loose.
They
Right.
wasted time with her backstory because I don't feel like her actions in season 2 benefited from us having that information. She was already scary enough and mysterious enough and threatening enough just based off of her actions in the first season and then the things that she was doing, in the second season, that I feel like that time with her was not necessary, especially given the way they ended it too, where it was that's not, to me, it wasn't enough of a payoff that like you give her this much time to describe her background and this is how she ends up.
I think it was useful because it kind of defined the kind of person that she was, that she wasn't, because from season 1, we couldn't really tell if she was just that cold and calculating.
Right.
But we get this background in season 2 and we see that it's not necessarily just a really mature, cold calculating. It's the fact that she's really got some mental health issues at play, and so to me, the backstory was necessary or was helpful to tell me what kind of person she is, and maybe how they can stop her, really, by showing what kind of person she is, that it's just not cold steel calculation, but there's, maybe if they get a hold of some of that mental health, if they give her some lithium or something.
But see, they missed an opportunity, right? They missed an opportunity with that because what you're saying is true. And if Tarabi would have used that against her in order to, do what she did, right? That would have been more fulfilling if she would have used understanding her mental, like using
that'll probably come up.
I think we know, but I don't think Tarabi knows because everything pretty much was redacted from the file except for the fact that she was a CIA washout.
Well, I'm just saying she's a professional. Like that's what she does. She should be able to read this person talking. She threatened her. Like at a certain point, she was like, "Oh, I know where you are and all this other stuff. You want to get through? You got to get through me." I mean, you're seeing the type of person you're up against, and your job is almost evaluating people. Like how could from those interactions? And I'm not saying she should have known this always. I'm just saying from those interactions that they showed this season, did it not register you? Hold up. I know how she was, and then I know how she's, this chick is this way. She's exhibiting these type of behaviors, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
if they would have pointed
that's why she was able to catch her in the shower because she knew
she set her up
that she was gonna come. It wasn't a question of if, it was just a matter of when. She was 100% certain that was going to happen. I think the background we got from Jane, what I got from that or what I took away from that was at the end of the first season, I wasn't sure where Jane's loyalties lied. I felt like she was an opportunist and would jump to whoever, you know what I'm saying? But I also didn't know if she was a double crosser, if she had double crossed somebody. The only thing we knew was that she was responsible for killing Billy. And then she shows up and, you know what I'm saying, when she's there with Sinatra, but then she has a conversation with Sinatra and she's like, well, if I hadn't done that. So it's like, wait, has Sinatra been using her this whole time? Is she on orders from Sinatra? When in fact, she just found an opportunity to move up, to upgrade. I got from that she is self-serving, a little off, and no one really has control of her. You know what I'm saying? So when you talk about like she is the most volatile thing in paradise because she's unpredictable. Even Sinatra didn't really know exactly what to do with her. And if it wasn't for the fact that she was like, you see, immediately she became expendable. She was like, oh, okay. Why don't you go out there and talk to him? Yeah, you go. Jane sees that as like he's worthy because she's the one being assigned. Because she brought that up. She's like, well, I was the one who went out there. And then Dr. Tarabi was like, yeah, that's why you shouldn't go back. Sit down, little girl. And she was so hurt right there. Like the way she felt hit, she was like, oh, yeah, you got to die. Like, you got to go.
Well, I think it was also that she was kind of looking at Dr. Tarabi like, you're stupid. You're not on my level. You just a psychiatrist. And then to have the boldness to play that move against somebody who you know physically could just snap your neck. Kind of, I think it was a fascinating choice by the writers to have her be so direct because that was probably the only time where at first I was like, this doesn't seem smart. But you drawing her out and it worked because you laid the bait and she came right on in, got stabbed up right on in the back.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say this. Everything that y'all saying about that, what it provided to the show is definitely true. I agree with you. It did provide that information. What I didn't feel that her character necessarily benefited from that information. I liked the mystery behind it. I feel like just knowing her being a live wire and her being unpredictable, not necessarily knowing her true motives or her background or, how she thought. But if you would have kept the scenes, that were, current time, her conversations with Sinatra, all of that, after the shooting and everything, keep those. Those were revealing enough. Like, to me, those provided enough. Those conversations had enough weight on their own, just knowing that she was capable of doing some wild killing shit without necessarily. Like, is it good that we know that information? Yeah, it's good that we know that information. I'm not saying it's not good to know that information, but I don't necessarily feel like it added value as much as not having.
I think it hasn't been revealed yet. I think it hasn't been revealed yet because on that episode when that man went crazy and started yelling at her mom when she was like rolling down, he's like, I have to stop her. I have to stop her. Like, to me, once we get to the end and it's like, okay, so we got anomalies, we got people getting sent back, feel like people getting sent back in time. Like, to me, that scene almost, it just brings into the question of like, which I think this show is doing is just like destiny, right? The concept of it, how much can we impact it? How much can we control it? How much are we a victim to it? How much are we a prisoner of it? How do different people accept theirs? Because I feel like, Jane kind of takes from that scenario, it creates a chain reaction of her mom using that as a means to abuse her, which then only pushes her further and further into this destiny, right? And so I think she accepts it. I am a killer. I'm a monster. I'm exactly what that man said about me in the hospital. And there's no need for me to fight it. Like, I'm super smart, but for some reason I can't understand that when my instructor tells me the problem is that the dude has male genitalia, that the solution is not for me to go chop it off and bring it to her in a gift bag. Like, we need to recognize figures of speech. You know what I'm saying? But I think she just is recognized as like, I'm not built that way. I don't recognize figures of speech. If you say the problem is this, I'm going to deal with the problem.
That's the problem.
That's what I do. I'm a killing machine. Shout out to the man at the hospital.
Point me in the direction you want me to go.
Like she said,
not
right?
the kind of person you want to confide in, because if you confide in her, stuff happens. I wonder specifically that bad breath being, like, oh, he has bad breath. That's like code for take that person out. And you know what I'm saying? It's like, is it just anything that somebody, like if Sinatra doesn't like something, we're going to resolve that immediately? Or was it specifically that phrase? You know what I'm saying? And we saw that phrase was like used multiple times. So of course, we know that. But like you said, she's a weapon, and she's like, just point me in the direction you want to use me.
There you go.
I think one of the things that, and this is where the show kind of got weird to me. I don't know enough science about how the supercomputer can alter time. We went from
that's not a science that you should understand.
Yeah, they haven't explained it on the show yet.
But it gets into the fantasy realm.
Right.
Quantum.
Yeah.
It's a quantum computer.
Yeah, man. Quantum leap.
There you go. Yeah. That's
ultimately
somehow gonna play into this thing.
This show, the way it started out, it went from a whodunit to now we're looking at rebuilding civilization, and next season, space. You know what I'm saying? It's like we get into this whole fantasy side of it, and it's like that's what keeps it from being rated high, because one or two anomalies will be just that, anomalies. Once we find out about Alex, now we got to start saying like, okay, that's Dylan, who shouldn't exist, but is clearly right here. And Dylan, that becomes a grandfather paradox, because Dylan not alive, but Dylan created Alex. So Alex is always going to make sure that Dylan's alive. And if Dylan isn't alive, then Alex can't be there. And the number one thing that all AI is going to do is try to self-preservation.
It's the first law of nature.
You know what I'm saying? So it now we start getting into, I can accept if we're crunching the numbers and we do the calculations, and you talk about fantasy, you take characters like the Thinker, you know what I'm saying, who literally like is just playing off the probability. He's just doing the data, just looking at the math. And the math says it's a 98% chance that Xavier is going to be the one who comes down here with Sinatra to stop close the doors so the reactors don't go out into the streets. 98% probability. So based on everything that she's done, Sinatra is probably going to sacrifice herself for her redemption. She won't be able to use a card. Let me print this card off and make it available for Xavier. That's probability. That's statistics. That's math. That I can wrap my head around that. When the people start being in the presence of one another and the nosebleeds start happening, it's like that's the cat walking by twice from the Matrix. That's when, deja vu, something happened that wasn't supposed to happen, and something's changing. And you're right, it hasn't been explained yet. But that's what's taking me out of this story, because I'm like, what? Okay.
And see, that's your need to understand everything.
Yeah,
and
man,
I don't have that need. I'm fine with fantasy.
I think too, the way I've looked at this, the way I'm kind of looking at the story now is like, I think we look at a lot of shows like season by season, because a lot of times you don't know if something's going to get renewed. But this show is signed up for 3 seasons, and so I think that a lot of I've stopped looking at it where like you end the season feeling like, well, I didn't get any answers, because this is more like a whole. I'm looking at this almost like a mini series where it's like Season 1 is the first night of the miniseries. Season 2 is the second night. Season 3 is like the third night. And so I don't necessarily feel like I'm supposed to be walking away from this season, as especially like if you look at like any trilogy, usually the second one ends on some sort of cliffhanger to tie you into the third season. And so I understand, like, yeah, it sounds crazy, but I think this, just like the first season, the story was about what was going on inside the dome. And no matter how much I was curious about what was happening outside the dome and all the hints that they gave about it could be life, it could be this, it could be that, all that was to do was to feed my curiosity about next season, which says we'll talk about this more next season. So I think even introducing like the quantum stuff, I think it was more to just be like, there's another layer to this that we're not going to be able to get to this season, but I'd rather start talking to you about quantum AI now so that when we get to season 3, episode 1, I don't have to do a flashback where quantum AI is being explained to President such and such like he's a caveman. Like,
right.
We don't need to do that. We can slowly feed you necessary information for the future, and yeah, y'all just catch up and catch up with stay tuned with all this other stuff. But when we Alex, you know what Alex is? It's AI.
Super AI.
Let's see what
that's Skynet grandmama. Like, because it's like, do you want Terminators? Because that's how you get Terminators right there. No, and already had a nuclear event. Now we got Alex out here creating life, finding a way and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but that's what they asked it to do.
And to that point, like Sinatra clued in that, you know, we knew that power was being diverted somewhere. Didn't get the details, and then we find out, okay, that's sucking a lot of power. The rail yard was set to, you know, take her where it was completely separate because it's over here in Denver. So all of the...
That's another thing. Taking a 2-hour train ride after you just had a whole situation with people outside your door, and then you got a bunch of people sitting in the office. You didn't go back once and be like, yo, y'all chill for a minute. I'm going to go think about this. Everything's cool. They're on hold. They're not going to attack us. We're good. No, it's they can't reach her, so they panic. And then, you know, in the world's greatest coincidence, they shut down. They institute the lockdown at the exact
They set
moment
that up beautifully, though. You know what? When dude was explaining it to the president like a caveman, that was like a beautiful setup for him to say, like, one thing about all great societies is they all fall. You know what I'm saying? Like, you talk about some foreshadowing. That was epic foreshadowing. So then when you have that 1 in a million situation where this has to happen while this is happening, and it can only happen if that happens as well, it like set up that opportunity for that to occur. And again, when you talk about like the unimportance of this character, that character, that was Jeremy's part to play. You know what I'm saying? Had he not been trying to open the doors, because that's why Sinatra took that 2-hour train ride, because she was certain that they could not get in. Once those doors are closed, that's it. You're not getting in here.
She's fully aware of the ability to lock down, of the Exodus program. She's aware of all of that. She knows,
but she had no reason to think that Jeremy was going to be trying to open up the doors while they're trying to initiate a lockdown.
Right, but I'm just saying that after you meet that type of situation, the leader's not just going to be like, yo, I'm out for 2+ hours. Sorry, 4 hours, 4 to 5 hours. She got on a train and traveled 100 miles.
Sure, she would.
100
That's
miles.
Sinatra.
There,
Sinatra
and
answers to nobody.
Back.
That's the one thing they made very clear.
Yeah, I feel
how many
like
times did people say this season, I know you're not used to hearing no. I know you're not used to not getting your way. Sinatra doesn't she doesn't explain herself. She doesn't. The only person who ever had that kind of power was Dr. Tarabi, and she dismissed her. You know what I'm saying? And then when she found out that she was the used car and got picked up and left, and you know what I'm saying, was feeling some kind of way, she's struggling with whether or not she even wants a redemption arc. And I love that for her because I was like, I just thought for once she'd be happy with the character who just doesn't really get redeemed. That you know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, she wasn't her.
Makes a
How
sacrifice.
much of a redemption arc did she actually mean? She was somebody who had to make the hard decisions. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But some of the decisions she created.
Yes, and some of the situations she acted harder than she needed to.
So not all of that was as hard as it.
You know,
it's not even a redemption thing. It's just like she got to have her little moment where she hallucinated or whatever and walked in the sun where the sun one more time. But it's like this also doesn't have it didn't have to blow up. Like it didn't have to end like this. But when y'all started like locking people up and you created a powder keg and it exploded. And so it's like I don't feel no kind of way because also we know we're going to see her again in like season 3 in flashbacks because she's one of the only people who knows what the hell Alex is. So there's going to be more scenes with her and her visits with Alex and all that kind of stuff like that. So, and I like that, but I think this lady's a good actress. I like the character, but I didn't walk away just feeling like, wow, thank you, Sinatra. The world is indebted to you, even though they are.
They'll never know what you did for them.
But we also are like back outside of the mountain also because of you and your choices. So
back outside the mountain without a plan.
Right. No plan, no leader.
She did say
no resources.
There was an opportunity. I'm trying to remember. I don't remember which episode it was, but she did not expect to be inside paradise indefinitely. It's clear that the whole purpose of Alex was to figure out how to rebuild outside. This was just to sustain them and get them through until. But because of all of the other stuff that takes place, some of it coincidental, you know what I'm saying? Because like Alex clearly didn't plan for the librarian. You know, I think better plans would have been made if it had.
Or that was a necessary part of the plan. Just like in Endgame, or it was an Infinity War, they had to let Thanos win right then, and everybody get dusted for that to be the only outcome, and the motherfuckers go back in time.
Yeah, and maybe that's how we got to the point where we're now creating time travel, because
we don't know if it's time travel just yet.
That man in 1980 was getting
right,
or 1985 or something was getting those coded messages on the computer talking about Jane.
This sounds like they really are just figuring out. It might not be time travel like Back to the Future time travel, but it might be like quantum leap time travel. Like we going back in time, but inside people's minds and inside people's bodies.
Or
change
inside the computer.
Or it's a computer, so a computer can transmit those messages back in time. The computer can communicate back in time.
I definitely think it's.
I know, but if you communicate, it's only so far you can communicate back in time to a computer. What if I need to go back and communicate something back in slavery? I got to go into my brain, baby.
You need a new AI.
But
Alex ain't for you.
People
AI.
are just human computers. But I
that's what I'm saying. That's what the quantum leap shit is. I was a big quantum leap fan, and in the reboot, they did a lot more trying to like explain the science behind what was happening,
and how
like even talk even like
different bodies.
Yeah, because like basically Ernie Hudson's character is like the leader of the division, but they reveal that there's like a Vietnam War episode that he jumped into the body of a black man, and he was like it later becomes Ernie Hudson's character is like a reprisal of that, and so he's talking about like what it's like to be leapt into, where it's like he's like, yeah, man, I was just like inside my body, but it felt like I was in the back seat and somebody else was driving, and
Oh boy, the upside down.
yeah,
Mm.
He's a passenger.
passenger in his own body.
Oh wait, not upside down. What is that from
Not the from Get Out.
Get Out? Yeah. What
The
was that called?
Sunken
The sunken
place.
place. Yeah. The sunken place.
Show about to say like the Hollow. No, it ain't the Hollow. What's it called? I will say like even now, whenever it's got me messed up. Whenever I make coffee on like Sundays or when I'm off, I refuse to use a metal spoon. We have a box of plastic spoons because I got to stir the coffee and then we're not doing that. I'm not gonna hear that sound triggered. So that's just one of those little silly things that happens around the house here.
Well, now we know.
Well, normally I would get into what do we think we're going to see in season 3, but I feel like we've kind of touched on what season 3 has to get into. But I do think it's going to focus a lot more on rebuilding society because they're no longer in the bunker. So nothing, the bunker's out. We don't have to worry about that no more. We don't have to worry about the, paradise any longer. But everybody who was there is now no longer in there. What would Alex had his team, not Alex, Dylan. Dylan had his team preparing to go, like he had Geiger, the specialist that he had with him. His plan the entire time was to get into the bunker. And it appears that his goal was to get Alex. Now, the question in my mind is, did he want to take control of Alex to help rebuild society? Was that the plan all along?
He said he wanted to destroy Alex.
They were talking about killing Alex.
Yeah,
so
killing
I'm
Alex.
wondering if he knew.
I don't think he knew Alex.
He's the one who designed it. He's the one who designed it. Alex is his. Remember, he went to the doctor. He went to the professor.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
I do, but I also remember them. When he was talking to his little team, they kept referring to it as killing Alex.
Yeah, but I think that just means like destroying the computer.
Yeah.
Yeah, but why didn't they call it that?
Because name Alex.
Because it's more mysterious to refer to Alex than it is to talk about the computer, the super high-tech AI that's based on your, professor partner's wife.
AL3X.
Right. Now, the part of this that still kind of throws me off, and again, I'm hopeful that we will get proper answers come season 3, and that maybe, like Jeff said, it'll just be on some, updated quantum leap kind of stuff.
Detective Sam want answers now, damn it.
I want answers right now. Yes. Yes, because like when you introduce
Who
things,
are you working for?
You introduce things that make absolutely no sense. You know what I'm saying? Like it's one thing if it's a Easter egg or a clue, or you sprinkle some breadcrumbs and I gotta catch it. Fine. If I miss it and it doesn't make sense, that's one thing. But when you start introducing whole new concepts with no justifiable explanation in what you've shown, now it's just like, here's this random thing that happened with no explanation, but it's okay because it did the thing we needed to do. It's a step beyond.
So you don't think that the part? So you don't think the part where the one doctor is working on it, and then they come by and they had a whole conversation about how it answered some crazy algorithmic problem that would have took
Before it
years to
was even
answer
asked.
before it was asked. Like, you don't feel like that's like giving a slight insight into how, like, it's a predictive model, so it's predicting and learning how to predict and refine its predictness in such a way.
And I'm good with
that
all of that. What I have a problem with, like I said, I have no issue with the AI itself and it being smart enough to know. Like I said, that's just crunching numbers. That's Xavier is the most likely person to be here. Da da da. How we got people that's dead, not dead? Dylan was dead.
Who's dead? No, Daniel was dead. The son Daniel is dead. The son's name
I
is
thought his
Daniel.
name was Dylan.
It was Dylan.
Dylan.
His son named Dylan.
It is? I thought Daniel was the son that died.
Damn, Daniel.
Are you sure? Damn, did I just kill some dude off? Oh, it's Daniel,
No, Dylan.
the son that's alive now. No, they ain't got no kid.
She just has the daughter now.
I'm sorry, yeah, I'm
Her name
not.
like
My bad.
Had-
daughter.
her name like
The thing
Hadley or
is-
some shit.
The thing is,
Hold on.
It's Hadley.
Dylan was her son that died. He was really sick. He was in the hospital. They had the whole thing. He
Gotcha.
passed away.
Mm-hmm.
Years later, she meets this guy named Dylan
Yes.
who's asking about Alex when technically nobody should know about Alex. Now, we know why Dylan knows about Alex.
We
But why,
don't know.
that's why she's like,
we don't actually know that this is really this lady's son.
Right.
This could be
Right.
something she's just telling herself, and they knew.
And-
And the computer, see, the computer, if the computer is using quantum leap technology, basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
They can easily have gone back in time, jumped in, find some dude named Dylan that was born on March 13th, and be like, we're gonna put all the stuff inside his head that he needs to put him back in this, because she need to hear the name Dylan and this birthday, so
There
she
you
stopped
go.
being fucking crazy and ends the entire world. Like, she's not gonna do what she needs to do to actually help humanity until she makes peace with like what happened with her son.
That's
And-
what Martha.
after
Martha.
she left from
Dylan.
that meeting, she went back, she saw her husband, she said she was in a better place. They missed each other and they smiled and went to the bedroom for the first time in who knows how long. You know what I'm saying? So, like, yeah, I get it. She a little bit later, she walk around in a robe, she feeling herself. Like, all that's great. That's where the whole question of like the time travel aspect, because based on the time when the computer would have been built, he was already like college aged at that
You're
point.
not supposed to be able to explain it, though. But I
Yeah.
understand what happens in your mind. You, Sam, want to understand everything, but you're not supposed to be able to understand it. And in my mind, that's okay. You know, there's anomalies. There's people who's supposed to be dead. There's stuff, you know, a computer sending emails 50 years into, you know, that's okay with me. I'm okay with waiting for
So
you
we'll
to
figure
spell
it
it
out.
out for me so I don't have to get a headache trying to figure it out. That's
Coming, they're gonna give you
what
the answer.
makes
I
the
will
world
say,
go
like,
round. Our differences. The point
And
for me is
look,
I am okay.
and all I said was we had this murder mystery, we have this post-apocalyptic rebuilding, and now we have like this fantasy sci-fi.
Yeah.
And
And
the fantasy
next season we're gonna
sci-fi
have
wasn't
Quantum Leap.
it wasn't laid out properly, so when it came, I wasn't ready for it, and it was jarring.
Me either.
And
I was
I
You don't,
like-
even, you don't even know. You don't even know if it's fantasy sci-fi. You don't even know
here's
if
the
it's
thing, though.
fantasy yet.
Here's the
It
thing.
is
They
though.
haven't
fantasy.
even
Here's
established
the thing.
anything yet.
Here's the thing,
It's
though.
fantasy.
Technically,
What's up?
any show about an underground bunker in a dystopian future is technically science fiction.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
This you didn't know was time travel. We on our watch and doing
Right.
weird stuff.
That's what I'm saying. Like the fantasy,
Right.
the sci-fi part of it. I
Sam
was
don't
there.
want
Yeah.
nothing that wasn't in the trailer. Don't
Right.
come in here with this new stuff now.
And it's not even, and even then, and admittedly, like even then, it's cool if you can and if you could just point out where I missed it and it got explained and I just missed it, that's on
No,
me.
you ain't miss it. They ain't say
When you
shit
just
yet. They
literally
said
pull this
come
shit out
back
of thin
next
air and
season.
say like, oh, and this too.
Come back
Yeah,
next
oh,
season.
and a little bit of that. Wait,
Okay, let me ask you this.
No,
Let me
'cause
ask you
none
this.
of that was supposed to be there.
Let me ask you this. Think back to when we first started watching the first few episodes of Paradise. You didn't know that it was in an underground bunker.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, we in an underground bunker. And then they
it's
explain how we get into the
post-apocalyptic because
underground
the
bunker.
world supposedly ended.
Right. Like,
But you
none
look
of
at
that.
those
But
trailers
none
of
of
season one. They kind of
that's
they was
not a
hitting towards
known.
that.
That's not a known thing in season one. And it was not built. It wasn't pitched or marketed like that. That underground bunker was a twist that you only found out if you watched the show.
Got you. Okay,
It just came out of nowhere. It was like, oh shit, we in a bunker. Then we started doing flashback episodes about the bunker.
Right.
So
So
we're at the end of season 2. You had your twist in season 1. This twist in season 2, you could have led up to that a little better.
Then it wouldn't have been a
That's
twist.
all.
Yeah,
Again,
the twist.
You get when you watch.
Because Sam don't want it to be a twist.
Right.
When you watch Benoit,
Sam wanted
no,
to be a clue.
when you
Right.
watch Benoit
That he
Blanc,
could
you don't
figure out,
like it. You don't
and when
like
it
it
ends
because
up
it wasn't
what he
wasn't
thought
made
he
for
can
you.
say.
No.
I knew it all along.
no, it's not even that part. It's not even that
trying
part
to
because we
join
all
in.
agreed that the librarian was like you just.
I gotta get
You
it.
just
in
The
pulled
one.
that.
librarian was
That
out
had
of left field.
And that's what I'm saying. And that same disappointment I had with that out of left field thing is the disappointment I have with this, because again, we just out of left field with this fantasy aspect, and not even the science fiction part. It's this just random.
But if they come to you with the math on it, they didn't just. It wasn't just like all of a sudden a time traveler like appears in front of me out of nowhere. Like they didn't do the work of necessarily explaining how it works to completion, but they did a good job of saying that whatever's happening with these anomalies is coming from technology that we're showing you is clearly being worked on to solve this climate process. And even though we aren't going into like the details of how
far
many
beyond what we expected it to do,
and it's considered dangerous by the
Rogue
people who
AI.
actually know what they're doing.
Yeah, like when he was like, "We need to shut this down," and she was like, "Where's my computer?"
So for me, when I hear all that, and then in the next 10 minutes, they're like, this motherfucker can time travel, I would be like, where? Maybe that's what the scientist dude was talking about when he was saying it was dangerous.
You know what? See, this is why I needed to talk to y'all. When the scientist dude is talking to Billy and he hands Billy the tissue, that's the first time we see somebody have a random nosebleed because something is happening that has to happen. He done made peace with it. He gives the address and whatnot. And the scientist is just like, you come here, you be at this place. He shows up. He's like, this is my wife, Alex. This is how we're going to do this. Okay, make sure, he like starts to give instructions like, please just make it painless. Don't hurt the boy, all of that. So by not hurting the boy, he ensures that Dylan lives. He makes him promise. He keeps his promise. Dylan lives. That's why he was then able to survive the apocalypse, because we didn't have nukes go off. See, this is what I'm talking about. All I needed was my breadcrumbs. Now we getting some breadcrumbs.
What would be crazy is if
he handed the dude
Alex
the tissue,
took
and was
over
like,
somebody in the hospital, and then when she thought Dylan died, they were like, "We lied to you. We saved him." And then
We put her in cryo.
There you go.
See, don't do that now.
We saved them.
I mean, honestly,
We cloned Dylan.
but even then,
Raised
like
them
it
as
is,
one of
it is
ours.
still questionable because when we first get introduced to Dylan, to Link or whatever, and of course that's that's got to mean something. Like his name Link, he the link, the connection, like that's gonna come back later. But the first time we see, don't shake your head, watch. Y'all try to convince me fantasy, and I want to make it make sense, and you like no. Be with me on this. The first time we see him is in that professor's class. We don't have any backstory to him prior to that. When he has this conversation with Annie, he doesn't talk about his childhood or anything like that. He just talks about like last week, because of course they've been in the apocalypse. They didn't, right? You know what I'm saying? The world is destroyed. So we just talking about what's happened for the last year. What have we been doing for the last year? That's more than enough conversation because she ain't talked to nobody in all this time. So, you know what I'm saying? Now, baby Annie gotta like, I don't know. I won't get into that part because that's speculation, and I will speculate nothing on season 3 because what they did to me in season 2. So I'm gonna just wait and see because I want to set myself up to be disappointed if they don't do what I want them to do. So we're just gonna see how they do it.
Just sit back and enjoy the show.
I enjoy the show. I do enjoy the show. Like but I have questions. And I need answers, and they ain't giving me answers. And I gotta wait for answers sometimes.
And see, I don't need answers. I'm happy
I need
when
answers.
they just surprise me, when I something is unexpected and all of the twists. I was good with the twists.
Let me ask you a question.
Surprise.
Have there ever been answers outside of the time travel that you were waiting for that you did not get, that you feel like is keeping you from moving forward in the story? Because if not, then I feel like this is when we begin to develop our trust in the artist. You know what I'm saying? Like, motherfucker ain't steered us wrong quite yet in terms of not explaining stuff. We know the next season is the next season. The whole shebang. Us versus computer. The final frontier. That's what this is all about. And really, it's like this is a nesting. It's like a nesting doll show. It's like a show about a mystery of a presidential murder. That's really a show about post-apocalyptic America, which is really a show about what comes next after all this shit burns down, and like how do you keep the computers from basically enslaving us and making us build this bitch back up in their image. Because that's what the answer to the climate change is going to be. It's like the problem with climate change is people. If we do something about that, we'll be all good.
If we have no people,
Gets better.
We have no people, we have no problems because robots don't care about the weather.
We're a virus. Agent Smith was right.
That part. I will concede that point. So far,
like,
every other reveal, every other twist had a valid explanation, had a decent rollout. Everything else kind of like was breadcrumbed properly. You know what I'm saying? Like the librarian was, they forgot they wrote that part and they had to fix it. And you know what I'm saying? Like we've joked before that whenever your show goes off the rails, time travel. That's how you fix. You know what I'm saying? That's just how you fix it. Time travel. And I don't feel like this show was going off the rails, so I didn't need that part. And people having flashbacks and memories of things that didn't happen or haven't happened yet, I guess. Hell, we don't know.
True.
I think that they did a much better job of showing doing the group that was at the post office. I think they did a better job with showing them versus like last year when they were trying to show how people were like with the miners who were actually building the facility. Like some of the one-off shows about like what was happening, and we taking like a real intense look about how these things are affecting like a small group of people. I mean, I knew that dude was crazy the whole time anyway, because it was just like he's clearly like an incel who spent like no time around people, and he really thought that this lady was gonna be like eventually like, you know what?
Forget my husband.
Fuck my husband. I'm gonna stay with you.
You shot your boy for suggesting she was going.
He was annoying. He was annoying.
He was annoying.
He didn't know how to.
But that ain't why you were supposed to. That's not reason enough to kill him.
Yeah,
but the fact that the incels were turning on each other,
if
that part right there was
is that distraught. Don't talk to him about his fake girl leaving with a gun in his hand.
You know what I'm saying?
Probably a bad time to bring that up.
That was essentially the equivalent of telling him his Canadian girlfriend was going back to Canada. That's what he just said. And you know, we don't talk about Canadian girlfriends.
So,
and they didn't think that through with who they put in the bunker. It's like y'all should have been thinking about your own loneliness and being like, hey.
Well, he was. The Indian guy was. That's why he wanted the hot nurse. He just ended up with a hot gay nurse.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, he didn't research properly.
He didn't ask him questions. You know what I'm saying? You can't ask that the Me Too era. It's like, so in the bunker, like trying to get busy, or this is strictly a survival only thing for you.
He figured.
You need to ask that question.
You really need to put like a repopulating
no
society.
Choice, then that is going to help me
DTF
out in this
paradise.
situation. And he was wrong.
That's on another channel.
Yeah, it's like I don't feel sad for you because she told you, and you sat around like you watched all these rom-coms where she comes around eventually. No, she doesn't, bro. Her husband is Sterling K. Brown. Okay, maybe she didn't have no pictures of this dude, but it's like once it's like, bro, look at you, and then look at Sterling K. Brown. She gonna go. What's that song? I don't care how you get here, just get here if you can. She going by railway, caravan, across the desert like an Arab man. She gonna get back to Sterling K. She not staying at that post office with that man. I'm sorry. Like the world has ended, and it's unlikely that you'll make it, but we still got to be realistic.
Yeah, I was waiting, and it probably would have been in bad taste. So I'm glad they didn't do it. But like, given that it was post office, he already took out Ennis. I thought he was going to just like kind of snap at some point, and
No, I would have let the chopper sing if I was Xavier. They man try to blow me up with some dynamite.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's first time I got a clear shot in the window.
As soon as I saw Bean leave,
my wife would just have to understand, like, baby, it's been a long time. I kill people now.
I thought he had a gun.
I don't know what to tell you.
I thought he had a gun. From where I was, it looked like he had a gun.
She's talking about murder. That's new. Yeah, there's a lot of new stuff. It's a new world.
Homeboy told you got a lot to catch up on.
Apocalyptic, yeah, it's new.
So he brought up.
Man, this man done killed his way across the whole country. He ain't even get that right. Like, oh, so you're killing people now, Xavier. Interesting.
Did you want to stay? I could go. Like, I could just go. I got a hot doctor back at the.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
That face was literally the reason why I watched the show. I was like, because I just got to see this.
Hey, this is my therapist. He was quick to introduce her for her job. This is my therapist.
I've already seen multiple memes, and they all basically revolve around. Somebody put, it's a lot of people who attended weddings from college friends and made this face.
Oh, that's mine.
That's yours.
Yeah. You get the A. You know, I didn't even know y'all was that close. For her to be at this wedding.
Pop up and you start having to do.
Oh,
Hi,
shoot.
this is my wife, Terry. Terry,
Yeah,
this is my
it's
therapist.
it's not me because all my I went to college with my wife, so all my college friends know her. But it'd be other people. I'd be sitting in the background sipping like, is it gonna go down?
I mean, you know, that's the plot of the best
Story
movie.
time.
Okay, well, hey, we got most of the. I think everything was covered. And as I sit and kind of like go back through all the episodes, there might be a few more breadcrumbs. I may give it a second watch and watch it with the wife, and I'll look for little details that I might have missed the first time around. You know, look for some nosebleed, look for some computers talking in the background.
Right. I'm
Right.
definitely
I gotta find my
watch it
breadcrumbs.
again.
Gotta find some breadcrumbs.
The Circuit City guy with the, you know, getting the messages on the computer, that really confused me. So I'm definitely gonna go back and watch it again.
Yeah, that was hella random.
And by the end, I was like, is this about to be some Inception shit that I'm never gonna understand? So I'm gonna try to understand it a little better before we get to next season, and I'm thoroughly confused.
It was just the idea that there's some sort of grandfather paradox. I really can't have that because that's gonna bother me. I would rather it be quantum leap than a grandfather paradox. You know what I'm saying?
He quantum leapt into his grandfather.
Oh,
well, no, I mean, like if Dylan dies, but Dylan is the one who creates Alex. You know what I'm saying? Dylan can't die because he has to make Alex. If Alex then is created, goes back to save Dylan, there is, you know what I'm saying? It's like that chicken and egg kind of thing where ultimately you don't worry about which came first, the chicken or the egg, because they were both. You know what I'm saying? And we just have to accept that. And that's what a grandfather paradox is. You know what I'm saying? Kid is born and has to go back in time, create the things that cause him to be born. That's a loop that will just continue on. Alex doesn't seem like it's going to allow for a loop.
Does not end. It just goes
we're not doing
on.
That. We're not doing that, lamb chop.
This is the theory that does not end. The grandfather paradox.
So,
ooh.
Right. But we'll see what happens next go round, because I will be all in on season 3, just like I was all in on season 2. And I will say, despite that, I was, even with the randomness and the disappointment of the randomness this go round, I do think this was a better season than the first season. And I think they are trending in the right direction. So, you know, that if that's the case, then season 3 ought to be the shit. And you know, I'll be super happy with the time travel because it'll all make sense. You know, so we'll
see.
Fingers crossed that we're just gonna go with that. But hey, we hope that you stuck around. And oh wait, Tyler, what did he say? You know what? It's really just one section. Don't worry about that section.
It's not even a section. It's like a throwaway comment.
It's a good show.
It is absolutely a great show. Don't get hung up on the stuff I get hung up on. Let me say that, because I get hung up on the most trivialist of things in a show. It's almost petty when so I'll admit that. I'm aware of that part of it. You know what I'm saying? But it just be like RG hate everything and I need explanations. Jeff will break it down and usually make it make sense, and Teresa let you know if it's foolishness. And Brandy would come. I hate that we don't have Brandy to give her unique perspective on things, because she always has that great perspective.
She would have been on Sterling K. Head for that introduction.
Yeah, she would have been. You know what? I'm actually curious to see what she has to say about Sinatra as a whole, like, because Sinatra and Dr. Tarobia, you know, those are two people I'm curious to see her reaction to next go round. But RG has pointed out the QR code. We appreciate that. We hope that you have enjoyed this show. Make sure you like, subscribe, share. If you've made it to this part of the show, you know what to do. Become a fan, stay with us, and join us everywhere you can find Grown A Geeks. This has been our season 2 review of Hulu's Paradise. We will be back again at some point later talking about more great things, all things geek. So, for RG, Teresa, Jeffrey, I'm LD Geek Sam, and we are out of here.